I am an attorney in the Cayman Islands, and I'm going to talk to you about ourselves, what we do, the Cayman Islands, the legislation, all things Cayman, funds, STOs, exchanges, custodians, DAOs, foundations, special economic zones, all that sort of stuff. Any kind of entity that you want to incorporate to run a Web3 digital type platform, that's what we do. An interesting question I was asked just before I came on, which is, am I going to be talking about jurisdictions other than Cayman or just Cayman? And my answer is, unfortunately, just Cayman, because I'm a Cayman attorney, and attorneys don't like to talk about things that they're not qualified to talk about. But what I'll be talking about here is very similar to other jurisdictions like BVI, Bermuda, and to some extent Guernsey, Jersey as well. A lot of the offshore jurisdictions have the same type of structures. So what makes Cayman, the second question, follow-up question, what makes Cayman so good then, and why Cayman? Well, for funds certainly, it's had a reputation for over 30 years in the funds industry. It's got traction. People like Cayman, it works, and it's attracted all the best legal minds and auditors and regulators to the jurisdiction. So it's entrenched its expertise. Anyway, I should stick to the script. So the first slide, this is me. I've been in Cayman 20 years. I've registered maybe 1,000 funds, maybe more. That's enough about me. The firm is one of the leading firms in crypto. We're not the largest firm in Cayman, but we took a stand and learnt our crypto early on and got a head start before any other firms in 2017. And we've registered more what we call VASP entities in Cayman than any other Cayman law firm. I've got 150 clients, all that, okay. So these are the services. I sort of mentioned them at the beginning. We're talking about exchanges, custodians, token issuers. That's ICOs, NFTs, STOs, whatever you like. Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain funds. I'll be talking a bit about that. As I say, Cayman is a jurisdiction known globally for its funds industry. And as a strategy, this has been certainly the largest growth area in Cayman. So we've had pre-crypto, we had legislation which worked pretty well for this industry. We had anti-money laundering legislation. We had foundation companies. And we had the special economic zone. But all these have adapted over the last 5 years to incorporate digital assets. And we've also had the new Virtual Asset Service Providers Act brought into place to regulate digital asset service providers. So I'll talk about all of these. The first one is the Virtual Asset Service Providers Act. It regulates token issuers, exchanges, platform trading entities, and custodians, so custodial services. Foundations, DAOs are quite popular. People use Cayman and particularly foundation companies to set up their DAO. So they can have an entity which has liability protection, flexibility of a trust, which is our foundation, and it doesn't have any shareholders, and everyone's just working to prioritize the objects of the company. So no shareholders being the key issue here for a DAO, and I don't know why that's jumping forward, but So no shareholders being the key here, that they can have an environment where people can vote on voting strategies or investments and operate like, most DAOs like to operate. We have a special economic zone in Cayman, which is interesting for this market. We have the Cayman Tech City, which is where the digital assets businesses house themselves. So anybody looking to sort of relocate and have a physical presence offshore in the Cayman Islands, Cayman Enterprise City is the place to look. You can establish yourself outside the city, but the special economic zone offers a cheap and easy startup and less expensive work permits and so on for your staff. So you can be up and running in about 5 working days in Cayman in the special economic zone. So it's rather attractive. DeFi, yeah. Again, the foundations are. Look, we have lots of different entities in Cayman: exempted companies, partnerships, foundations. But the foundation companies in this sector are very popular and work quite well. They undertake many of the real-world activities in the foundation. And if you're going to issue a token, we suggest you start with the foundation as your sort of platform operating entity, and you have a subsidiary. To issue your token. The subsidiary then gets regulated as a token issuer and distributes up to the foundation all its proceeds. So then the funds, crypto funds. As I say, this is the area of largest growth in Cayman. We're seeing most of the investment managers who have more traditional investment strategies turn to Cayman to have additional funds in this sector. And of course, we're seeing new managers come with their strategies to set up funds to assist people who want to invest into this market. Through a fund. And as I say, Cayman's been a leading jurisdiction for funds for over 30 years. So we have a Private Funds Act, Mutual Funds Act, which regulates the funds, and they can be up and running within 4 weeks. We can have a fund up and running and regulated in 4 weeks, subject to getting your auditors on board. And that's worked very nicely for most of the clients over the years. We have, as it says, pragmatic regulators, which means that they regulate the fund in a matter of days, and they understand the funds market. The regulators understand funds very well, and of course we have no tax in Cayman, so any profits of any fund you set up in Cayman are not taxed in Cayman, taxed in the hands of the recipient, but not in the fund. Cayman government doesn't take a slice of your profits. We have segregated portfolio companies, which is probably worth talking about briefly. Segregated portfolio companies can set up lots of separate pools, which can operate as their own separate company. All the assets and liabilities are separated into different pools. So this entity is the predominant one for crypto funds. So that's a brief overview, 10 minutes of Cayman law and legislation for the whole of this industry, which is very brief, but I'll let you ask some questions. If you've got a couple of minutes to ask some questions, if you have any.